what's good? It's Cadillaktrackz. This is going to be quick tip number 98. Sorry I left y'all for a few days without a quick tip. Just had the holidays here and I wanted to let everybody have a little bit of time. But today's quick tip is just about how to set up a custom template. You know that I have the MK3 custom template on my web page and on my YouTube videos. It's basically a template I made myself to control Fruity Loops with the MK3, and a lot of people have been asking me, how did I set the template up, or how did I assign functions like play, stop, record, and just a lot of different functions, and make the jog wheel do different things on Fruity Loops. And I did set a price for $20 template, so if you're still interested in that, it is $20. The reason being is because it took me a very long time to set up, and I'm going to show you just a little bit about how to set that up so that you can start the journey yourself, or you can see the value in the MK3 template that I'm offering. One thing that you can do on Fruity Loops and the machine MK3, the MK3 is basically a MIDI controller, meaning that if you don't have the software machine, it doesn't do nothing. It doesn't play no sounds. All it can do is push a button, and perhaps your computer can respond by MIDI. And if you look online, you can just, man, I should have went ahead and pulled this up for y'all, but this is the quick tip just about how to set it up. What you're going to need to use is the controller editor. This is controller editor right here. And I'm just going to open up a Google just real quick, because I want to show y'all something also that you need to consider. And actually, let me go ahead and so this is just right here. All I did is search. You just saw I just did MIDI CC codes. CC codes are I don't know how to say it. I think it's control or something, but it's basically MIDI notes go out and they send messages to programs. Those messages come back as notes in your computer or something else. They're universal, meaning that some MIDI numbers are always the same task. So for example, MIDI CC number 5 is always portamento time. MIDI CC7 is always volume. And you can actually, this is just one list. Yeah, this is the list I wanted to show y'all. I found it. This list right here shows you a list of a majority of the basic MIDI CC functions. So you can take these into note. Some of these will translate into Fruity Loops. And what I do is I use the controller editor. I'm not going to show you exactly how I set the template up, because like I said, it took a lot of time, but using the controller editor, you can start the journey yourself. Just by using controller editor, if you open up controller editor, it's going to open up your MK3 template, and it's going to allow you to start assigning MIDI notes. Basically, I can click on a pad, like for example, on my MK3 template, I have the minor scale, and you can click on a pad. And when I click on that pad, it comes up over here and it gives me options for that pad. I can click right here on assign, and I can see that I have the option now. I can set the channel, I can set the note, I can set the mode from a gate to trigger, I can set the velocity, I can even set what color it lights up, and I can even label it or make a name for myself for it. So using that method right there, if you can assign the key for a pad, you can basically map yourself out a MIDI scale, or a minor scale, or a major scale. All you'd have to do is go through and map it out. You'd have to map out 4 octaves. You'd have to make sure that you get the scale right. That's what one of the hard parts is, because as you start to go from note to note to note, you might accidentally mess up on one of the notes of the scale. Your whole scale would be messed up then. You'd have to start over from your little, so you just got to kind of think it out, you know, whatever method would be best for you to go ahead and map out the minor scale. And you can't just map it out once. You got to map it out for every octave, right? So just map it out 4 times, you know, for every key, right? You know, A through G. So it could take a while, but once you knock that out, you can just you can also click on different knobs. And when you click on a knob, you know, just like this, it gives you the same option. When I click here, this can be a note, it can be a controller change, a poly pressure, channel pressure, program change. So you just gotta try different combinations. Sometimes you want a controller change, sometimes you want it to play a note, sometimes you want it to do a channel change or a program change, and sometimes you want that start stop. So you basically are telling the computer what notes to send. There is no key or golden way to figure out how do you set the play button here to this. It might not be that just cut and paste. You might actually have to go through all of the different options, meaning that this channel right here, if I click on this channel, I think it goes from channel 1 all the way up to 16. So try all the different channels, try all the different notes, try all the different controller CCs. I think that's 1 through 27. And you'll start to see that you're actually able to find different functions. Once you find those functions, you can actually save that as a template. And once you have that template, you might find a button that when you push a certain button on your MIDI controller, it does a certain function on Fruity Loops. As you start to put them together, you can make yourself a key or a guide, basically, to where you can actually figure out how to control different functions on Fruity Loops. And then you can start to arrange them and organize them. Now, keep in note that if you're going to do this scale thing, every page or every scale, you know, the page or scale A would have to have these same settings, and you'd have to copy those settings to B. But there is no way to copy and paste settings on Controller Editor. So you're literally going to have to do it manually. So page 1 might be the key of A in this scale, but if you have more than one page, you're going to have to copy the settings manually from page to page. You can go over here to where it says templates, and you can copy a template. So if you get one page perfect, you could copy that and then make minor adjustments to it from there. But I just want to give a little bit of insight. I know somebody was asking me, and I know a lot of people have been thinking. A lot of people have saw the quick tips on the template. So that's just one way you can set yourself up a custom template by using the controller editor. It comes with Machine. Setting it up to Fruity Loops, one key thing or tip for y'all: Fruity Loops open and you have the controller editor open. As you make changes to the controller editor, it's live, so you'll see those changes on Fruity Loops, meaning that if you assign a function to a key and you put, you'll see what it does on Fruity Loops open. So you kind of have to toggle back between the two, you know, set a function, push a button, see if it does anything, go to the next. There's literally thousands of functions. It could take a while, and but I just want to give you a little insight on that. This Cadillaktrackz, this is a quick tip on how to set yourself up a custom template like I do, the MK3 template. Basically set yourself up a MIDI, a minor scale, so that you can play minor scale without having to have the Machine software running. You could just use the controller, open up Fruity Loops, and start playing it just like you would in scale mode. And you can also do a lot more functions like the play, stop, record, and all the transport functions that you're not able to do generically. You could set them up manually using this method. So it's kind of elaborated, but I just wanted to touch base on that. We're coming to the end of the quick tip series, so I wanted to give y'all a jewel. That's how I set up the quick tips right there. And it's Cadillaktrackz 1.